Hi, it's Kristen here with another process video, and today I'm going to be doing a layout based on a sketch from Christy's Beautiful Life, and that is sketch number 1 in the most current series. I'm also playing along with the Rainbow Crush, and that is hosted by Tara from Paper Snob. So I picked out this paper from Vicki Boutin. I believe that this was part of her cut and paste. I had started filming after I'd already cut the paper apart. And then I'm going to go ahead and do some mixed media background because that's what it looks like to me in the sketch. So this first color that I'm using is called Olive Branch, and it's a spritz by Shimmerz. And I'm using Vicki Boutin's mixed media cardstock. And I'm making sure I'm drying in between because I am going to use quite a few different colors, and I'm trying hard not to get them muddied up. Although by the end of it, they do look a little bit, although I think it comes across on film a little bit more muddy than in person. The second color is called Artichoked, and it's a Vibes spray, and that's also by Shimmerz. This next color is a Creamies, and it's called Lapis Dance, and it's this really pretty blue color. And I'm just going to use the packaging technique on this part of it since it's not a spray. And in between all of these, I've sprayed each one with like some water just to kind of dilute it down. So the Rainbow Crush challenge was to use rainbow color. So this is Pinking of You, and it's a color splash, so it's an acrylic spray from Shimmerz. And I really was trying not to get too much of this on there because I didn't want my colors to start to get kind of muddied looking. So I sprayed probably a little bit more than I wanted to. So I did dilute it down with water, and then I do pat quite a bit of it off. I was trying to match the colors of the arrow pieces, and then later you'll see I'll pull in another piece for a border that I was trying to work in those colors. This one is actually a Delusions ink spray, and I don't know if it's got a color to it. It's just purple, and it was a spray that I had bought from, I think it says Laid Back Lilac. It was just a spray that I purchased at Joann's, so it was like, reduced down. But it's watercolor based too. At least I think it is. That's what the packaging said anyway. So I end up getting some more water down, and then you can see here where my colors look a little muddy, but really, like in person, they don't look as muddy as it comes across on screen. So that's why I was trying to dry it in between, because I knew I was going to use different colors. So anyway, so I put the arrows down, and I'm like, these are kind of big. I didn't want them to take up the whole page, so I do decide to cut them down again, just so that more of the mixed media is kind of popping out from behind it, and then that way the arrows aren't taking up the whole page. So this is the other paper that I decided to work in, and I think this was from Flower Emporium. I think it was from her paper pack. So it's a Vicki Boutin. And I very poorly gutted the middle, but I did gut it, technically. I was trying to get this layout done fairly quickly. I was just kind of, had some time to get some layouts done, so I was trying to get quite a few finished. So when I work my 12-hour shifts, I don't have as much time I usually don't get around to scrapbooking at all on those days. So I end up getting my arrows put down. Now I am using glue on this. I usually am like just a tape runner kind of gal, but obviously since this is mixed media, it won't hold with just the tape. So the picture I picked out was one of me and my daughter. She loves to do Snapchat, and so this was one of us doing Snapchat together, just a silly picture. So I decided I am going to back in on that part that I gutted very poorly. I usually gut a lot more than that, but... And then I'm going to start working in some embellishments. So this is all Vicki Boutin stuff. Now, some of it's cut and paste. I don't think I pulled out any Flower Emporium for this one, although I could have. I just didn't go through that part of the stash. I don't think I work from any other lines at all. So it's pretty much Vicki Boutin and Shimmerz for this layout. So, and of course I'm going to go with rainbow themed stuff since I am doing the Rainbow Crush. And I ended up picking out these glasses. Now there were two of them. I ended up going with the more round ones because it had a little bit more of the colors I had in my layout. But since the Snapchat put glasses on her face, I thought that kind of made sense and was cute. And then you just see me kind of working down here with I wasn't sure what my title was going to be. It ends up not being like a title. I end up using this wow as my title. This little color wheel says life is art, live yours in color. I thought that was appropriate. And you'll see, like, as I'm going through my embellishments and picking and choosing. So I had set all these aside beforehand because I had a lot of embellishments to go through and I didn't want to obviously film all that. So I had set all these pieces aside that I felt would work. So I'll just toss a bunch of pieces, kind of very crudely put them on initially just to kind of see if it works with the colors. And then as you see me like starting to actually build my layout, I will start to like set those pieces aside that I feel like I thought initially might work, but then decided they wouldn't. I like that little green camera off to the right hand side since we were shooting a selfie. And then this little pencil I end up putting down there, it says making the world more colorful, which I don't know if you'll be able to, because things shifted down a little bit when I was working with this paper. So I do end up deciding to pop the wow up on foam. So at this point, the stuff that you see down, I've actually adhered down, and I used glue for all of that. And then I'm pulling in some more pieces from cut and paste. So the sketch had like kind of a banner going across the bottom. So I'm kind of essentially trying to recreate that to a degree, just to follow the sketch a little bit more closely. And I also wanted something off to the left-hand side of this because you could kind of see where part of the arrow point was sticking down, and it just looked kind of weird to me. So I wanted to get that covered up. These are little circles, different colors, and I tried to kind of put them in areas around the page where it kind of matched that color. And they've got gold foiling on them, so they're really pretty. But so I'm just trying to get them all tucked in where I think that they work. Just getting this last piece in, trying to decide where I want it. So you can see the gold foiling really good on that one. Some of them have like a few little dots and some have more. So here is a close-up of the layout. So you can see like the colors aren't as muddied, you know, when you're looking at it in person. This is a really fun layout. I enjoyed it. I love this sketch. It's not usually something I would do, so I really am enjoying these challenges and kind of using up some products and doing things outside of my comfort zone. So here are some close-up shots, and I appreciate you coming by to watch another process video.